Hello and welcome again to the Blue Garden Cottage. Again, welcome especially to new subscribers. Lovely to have you along with us. In the living room again today. Not much going on outside with all these storms with Storm Kira. We've got the tail end of it now. It's supposed to be gone, but I can promise you those gusts and gales, they're still just. I'm looking out the window right now. Oh, I so wish it would pass now. My arch is breaking even more. And the plants are all taking a battering. It is, of course, not quite middle of February yet. And there is still plenty of time between now and the end of March to have a really cold snap and even some snow or maybe just some ice and frost. But either way, we could still have pretty bitter winter weathers even now. And even though we've had a really mild winter, that's no promises. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk to you about today, just a little chat. I went exploring last week, as I've intended to do for months now, but not had the chance. But I went to check out the two zero-waste shops in Cardiff. The one is Ripple and the other Viva Organics, I think it was. And they're two very different shops. They have two very different looks to them as well. Ripple is on Albany Road in Roath, and it is there's two different shops right next door to each other, but they're both Ripple. The one sells all clothes, toiletries, accessories, toys, household stuff, all of those sorts of things, and even ethical makeup. And the one next door is the one that sells all the foodstuffs. The clothes shop I went in is very interesting, very good. Some things are obviously out of my budget. And I did go into both shops with a preconceived idea that zero-waste shops will be way expensive, more expensive than shopping at a supermarket. I was actually pleasantly surprised. It's not really more expensive than shopping at a supermarket or any other high street shop. For us who are scrimpers, it probably is quite dear. But generally speaking and comparative to high street stuff, it's actually very good. And even I found with some of the things, it is actually very, very cheap. But the point of going there was to get stuff that's zero waste, comes without too much packaging or packaging that is recyclable. Some of the stuff we saw, like some of the bamboo cutlery and things like that, obviously are imported because we don't grow that kind of bamboo here that could be used for making such stuff. So you have to, I think you have to use some offsetting things there. You're getting some environmentally friendly compostable stuff that is zero waste, but at the same time you've had to import it, so it comes from further afield, which means it's got more embodied fuels there and energy. So you have to weigh up what it is you want, and some of the stuff there is great, fantastic, like the face scrubs, the face cloths, and all sorts of household stuff like that. But I can make that stuff myself. I can make my own fabric tea bags. I can make my own face scrubs, my own things like that. I use metal cutlery. That's not going to go in the bin. That's zero waste, really. I've got metal straws already that I found at a bargain shop together with the straws, so that was cheaper buying that at the bargain shop. But you can get all those sorts of things. The clothes, I don't buy clothes. I usually have second-hand or charity shop clothes, or make my own from, as you remember, the trousers I turned into a skirt. So that kind of thing. I already do that. So I don't need clothes from there, and I couldn't afford it anyway because some of it's pretty steep. And I can understand why. I don't want everything free and I don't want everything dirt cheap, because things have a value. People have made those things and they should be worth their time, and their work should be worth that at least. So I don't begrudge the prices on the clothes. I think it's fair. I just can't afford it. Then the foodstuffs next door, that was really good. I actually found it very interesting. Some stuff is not what I would use because some of the nuts and things were roasted and had salt or been in oil, so I wouldn't use those anyway. But the raw foods they have in bulk, and you take your jar to the till empty, whatever packaging you take, they'll weigh it, put a label on it, you go fill it, take it back, and then you pay only for what you've weighed out, not the weight of your packaging. That you take your own jars, your own bags, your own tubs, whatever, which I thought was really brilliant. And the bulk foods of the seeds, the grains, the nuts, the pulses, all sorts of stuff. Actually, they even had a freezer with frozen vegetables without packaging. You take your own packaging, your own tubs and stuff to put it in the freezer section with a scoop. And I thought that was brilliant. And they have the decanters for the oils, the cooking oils. You take your own bottles for that as well, which I thought was brilliant. There was a lot of stuff in there. And then they had all the bamboo toothbrushes and other toiletry bits there as well. They also had, what else did they have? They had it was quite a big selection actually of stuff, and I was really impressed. And some of the pulses that worked out like to 23 pence per 100 grams, which compared to the supermarkets is actually cheaper than the supermarkets. So going to buy your stuff there would work out cheaper. So I think you work your circular journey so that you're not offsetting the cost of the fuel to get to these different places, because that could be a contradiction again as well. So if you're doing a circular journey already, it makes more financial sense to go and get your bulk stuff or your dried foods like that over there. And they have other stuff as well. So it was an eye-opener. I enjoyed going there, and I certainly would go back there again for some stuff that I said obviously is going to be cheaper than the supermarket, but I will do it as in one day of shopping and in a circular journey, so it's not backing and forthing using more mileage and fuel. Then the other shop, Viva Organics, was a very different shop. It was much smaller, and they also had all the bulk dried foods, fresh foods. They had locally sourced vegetables and fruits, some British heritage apples as well, which I thought was really lovely and very tasty, not bad at all. Then they also had a selection of things from local in South Wales from farmers, such as the ethical butter, real butter, from actually a vegan farmer. He obviously doesn't eat the butter himself, but I thought I'll buy some of that and I'll try it. But after so long of going without it, I didn't actually like it, so we'll just skip that in future. But it was just nice to support a local farmer who is ethically runs his farm, and it's traceable, and you can go to the farm. It's a really nice connection and a supporting of a local economy there. So I like that bit of it, but we'll just go without that. Stay whole food, plant-based. Excuse me. The one difference of that shop is they don't take cash, because it's paperless and zero waste. They only take card payments, and I'm not sure. I think they said there's no minimum because some places will only take a minimum purchase if you're using a card, but they don't have a minimum purchase, but it's card only. They don't handle cash. There's no receipts, till receipts, so that's zero waste in that aspect as well. It's a very tiny little shop. It was really good, and there's a good selection of stuff there. Even the spices at the back of the tills in the little spice racks that you could buy, take your own packaging again for that. So that was really good. I enjoyed that. It was an eye-opener, and I'm glad I went. Again, it helped me to realise what I can actually afford to do as far as zero waste. It made me think of stuff that I could do myself that I wouldn't have to fork out for. Gave me ideas of more zero waste options. So that was really good. And I just thought I'd share that with you, that I actually did go. They are worth it. It's not as dear as I thought it would be with most stuff. It actually works out for some stuff cheaper than a supermarket. So if you have a zero waste shop anywhere near you, do go and have a nose, have a look around. Maybe take a little bit of your own packaging with, just in case you think, actually I'll get some of that while I'm here. It's on the internet. Just type in zero waste shops in your area or near to you, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. It's something that's growing and there's a lot more of it. Some supermarkets are catching on slowly. It's been in the media, but they still don't actually get it. So we've got a long way to go, but we're getting there. And in my own home, we're doing a lot more, even though there's a long way yet to go for us to be anywhere near zero waste. But we're getting there. Making more conscientious choices and deliberate choices, and shopping less, actually, I think makes just as much of a difference. So with all of those things in mind, if it's been helpful to you, I'm really glad. Do have a look around. You'll be surprised. It's actually, we form these stereotypes in our heads about what things are before we get there. And from experience, we think that, well, these things, going to health food shops, obviously zero waste shops, going to be about the same, so it's going to be far more expensive. But it wasn't. Some things are actually better there. Keep an open mind. Go and have a look and just get some ideas. Some ideas of what you could do yourself, actually. And on that, I will share with you another time some things. I did buy some twine, and I'm going to make my own kitchen scrubs out of those, because I've already got some, what do you call it? Not hessian, jute mitts that are meant for the bathroom for scrubbing your body, but I use it in the kitchen and they last for absolutely months. But I thought I'd make some extra ones from string just to demonstrate to myself that I can actually do it. And while the sun's shining, it's time to get the dinner in the oven. And I'm going to leave you with that. Just a nice chat. And I'll speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.